that era. So America's Most Wanted is one of those records. The second NWA record is one of those records.
The second one was Niggas for Life?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said it, the second one.
It's the Danny Brown Show. Sit back, relax, you already know why you make studios. It's the Danny Brown Show. We about to get live. Let's go. It's the Danny Brown Show. Sit back, relax, you already know why you make studios. It's the Danny Brown Show. We about to get live. Let's go.
Yo, what's up, though? It's the Danny Brown Show coming to y'all live from YMA Studios here in beautiful Austin, Texas. I got the Booth Boys with me. What's up, fellas?
Yo,
What's up, Danny?
How y'all boys doing, man?
Great. Always good to have you in here.
Winning on roulette, baby. 27.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Man, goddamn it. And you know that fucking gambling, man, that's a slippery slope.
He's been asking us numbers all day.
That's right. 1 through 36. What you got?
I can't fuck with no roulette. I've had won money before fucking with roulette in Vegas, but that's I got lucky.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
just
a
put it like
mistake.
that. I was
It's a
drunk,
mistake.
just throwing money down on anything, you know. I got Joe DeRosa in the house. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you.
I don't know, man. You got the liquid IV going, man. You was going hard last night, huh? They actually have these fucking patches. You can get these fucking hangover patches, and you just put that shit on your arm. You drink all night. You wake up feeling like a champ.
I got to get some of those.
Yeah, that shit the truth. I really fuck with that shit.
Yeah, I went out. I haven't seen Shane Gillis in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fucking with the dogs.
yeah, we missed one another.
Yeah.
So we met up yesterday and we started at did you ever go to Lustre Pearl? It's one of my favorite bars in Austin. It's down, I don't know. It's somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's a good bar. But anyway, we started there and then we were like, let's just walk and just stop at bars. Next thing you know, it's like 11:30. I was like, dude, I gotta go, man. I was sideways.
But Shane he only drink beer though, don't he?
See, that pissed me off because we were like 6 drinks in and I was like, dude, he's like, yo, you're starting to sway a little bit, dude. And I was like, dude, I'm fucking getting drunk, man. I'm like, because I don't drink beer. I drink whiskey.
I didn't drink beer either when I was drinking. It was just, I can only drink liquor because beer is just, it takes too long, man.
Yes. Yeah, then I start doing shots with it. And I'm like, come on, man, I want to get a buzz. And now you're basically double fisting, and then you get too sloshed. But the problem with liquor is you're just drinking liquor. So I was drinking whiskey diets, and then I was drinking whiskey sodas, and he was like, yeah, dude, I'm fine, man. He's like, all I've had is 6 Bud Lights. I was like, well, you need to do a shot, man, because this isn't fair.
The crazy part about that, though, when I was in rehab, it was like all the beer drinkers, they was like the worst. Like, they all needed like crazy medications and shit like that. Because they say like beer, I don't know, you know, some people, they get the shakes and all that kind of shit. And it's like, you can't get out of bed until you have a beer.
Yeah.
I guess that's like motherfuckers that's drinking like a case a day type shit.
Yeah.
Because beer, but people that all the liquor drinking motherfuckers, we was good.
Well, guys that drink beer, like beer, like enthusiasts, guys that really drink beer, they can, and I've known a few in my life, it's like they can drink a lot of it. You know, like what you're saying about like it takes too long, and also too like my body, I just like you start to feel full. Like if I have 4 beers, I feel like I ate like 2 Big Macs. You know what I mean? But guys that can drink beer can keep, even light beer, it weighs up on you after a while. Yeah. They can just keep drinking it, man. Like, I don't understand it. And like, that's got to be, I mean, it's so many carbs and it's such a difference.
That's how you get that belly.
Sugar,
that's why they call it beer belly for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
But I would imagine, though, like, being like a comic, though, it's hard to not like fucking, because you act clubs every fucking night. You know what I'm saying? So,
how long you been sober?
It'll be a year in April.
No shit.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you, man.
Are you sober? Or you still smoke weed?
No, I don't do. I just do fucking vapes and nicotine pouches now.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't have no intentions on quitting weed. I still love weed. Like, I just smelled some weed on my way in the car over here. I'm like, damn, man, that shit smells amazing. You know, but I guess, I mean, once I stopped one, everything else just, you know.
That was kind of it.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good.
And plus, I feel like once you get up to like my age, like you're in your 40s and shit.
How old are you?
42.
Yeah, you're making me feel bad. I'm 46.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
you're like, when you get to 42, you need to stop. Like,
no, I'm not saying that. It's just that, you start when you're just sitting around just smoking blunts all day, playing video games and fucking. I mean, obviously, I fucking make music, so I mean, if anybody can do it, it's a fucking musician or anybody that's like in the entertainment field. You have the leisure to be able to do something like that, but. I don't know. For some reason, just sitting around smoking blunts all day and just not doing shit.
I had to back off of. I don't fuck with weed anymore because it started to make me. Something happened. I don't know. I got into my 30s and like I just couldn't do it anymore. Like it made me so paranoid.
Yeah.
And weed smokers are like heavy weed smokers are always like, it's like talking to a vegan about vegan cheese.
Exactly.
They're like, you didn't try the right kind. I'm like, no, man. I tried all the kind. I can't, unless I'm drunk and that anxiety is gone because of the drunk, I cannot smoke weed. And even if I'm drunk, I can have like a hit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because I get new weed. It's just weed is crazier than what it was when I was coming up.
Too strong.
We used to just smoke weed and get the munchies and laugh and giggle. Now this new weed is like you might as well just put a needle in your arm. You like fucking doing fentanyl or some shit. So we
edibles.
I love edibles though. I had a nice stint with edibles because it makes you sleep good.
How many could you do?
I was up to like 1,000 milligrams, like a day type shit.
Yeah, I
It
know.
was to the point I thought I was going blind. Like I would eat so many edibles and I'd be watching TV and shit like shit is just mad blurry, man. I think I'm losing my vision and shit like that. But then when I stopped eating edibles and shit, my vision came. I was like, oh, it was just a fucking edible.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah.
I know dudes that do 800 and work all day.
Yeah.
Shit, it's crazy.
I mean, like weed, it does have its, positive, because I do see myself getting a lot more upset about petty shit. And I just be like, man, when I was smoking weed, I wouldn't even give a fuck about that kind of shit,
It's funny that you say that because when I smoked weed, I smoked it a lot, and in my 20s, and I would take some time off. I go, you can't live like this. You got to take a break. So I'd take a couple days off, and about a day or two into the fast, I'd start getting reactionary, I'd get angry at a lot of stuff, and I think. I hear you that it could be a positive of weed, but I also think it's not. I think it's just taking a numbness away. And I think that numbness sometimes has positive qualities like, well, I'm not going to get mad at the lady at the bank because she was shitty and whatever. That's a positive. But I also think it's a numbness just to everything. And, I know people that say stupid shit like, I drive better when I'm high.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it makes you not care as much when you drive it. Maybe that's what it is, know?
Yeah. It's like, it's just, that's crazy, that mentality.
Because it's almost like a force field around you.
Right.
Now it's just like, you don't give a fuck about shit. You just like, I'm high, I'm cool, I'm good. But yeah, I think the main reason for me, I feel like, as fucking cliche as it sounds, I think it could be a gateway for me.
Weed?
Yeah.
I don't think that's cliche at all. Yeah. I think that's almost not cliche. I think people swat that concept away, like, and they're like, they just, listen, I got no beef with weed.
No, I don't either. I love it. Like I say, I love it so much.
But
you got to,
I'm protecting myself against weed smokers. I've talked about weed publicly before. Weed smokers get real mad.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's nothing worse than like those weed. I'm talking about like the super weed motherfuckers that like wear weed clothes and shit like that and all that. That's just like, they like weed nerds.
Yeah.
In that sense, I like smoking blunts and shit, man. But I'm not fucking walking around with a fucking weed flag and shit, going to weed parties and festivals. And shit
wearing
like
weed.
That.
Yeah, wearing weed clothes is like wearing Confederate flag clothes.
Yeah, it's the same shit,
kind of. You're just a nerd.
All right, we was talking about hip hop a little bit earlier, man. So you're a huge hip hop fan. You actually made a fucking rap album yourself and some shit, huh?
Well, I have a band. We're not a rap group, but I did do when I was. Yes, I used to rap.
Yeah.
I used to rap, but I never pursued it very. I thought I was going to pursue it seriously, and then I started doing comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But my band that I have, I also did before comedy, and the band kept going and has resurfaced, and we're doing it again. But the hip hop I stopped rapping and just stayed a fan.
So the band is Salsa Windfall?
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of music is that? Is it salsa?
No. No. People ask that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the title. Shit. I mean, you know.
It's like I always say it's odd. I call it odd pop. You know, it's electro pop. And it's got it's definitely got some Devo vibes. It's got it's odd. It's odd pop music. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I could describe it. So we just did our first show in 22 years.
Oh shit!
25 years at Arlene's Grocery at Halloween. It was
dope.
It was crazy doing it again. And we're trying to do a show in Austin in the spring. We're trying to see if there's enough interest in whatever and we want to come down here and do something in like March.
So like doing comedy and like doing music, like what do you think is like the biggest difference of being on stage, like doing both?
Well, I feel like with music, it's comedy is drinking, music is weed. Weed, you like you said about the force field. Mm-hmm. I feel like music allows you a certain force field when you're performing it on stage because hey, it's a song, mm-hmm. and no matter what, we got to get from point A to point B in the song. And the song is happening.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the audience is. Not that it doesn't matter, but my point is no matter how the audience reacts, the song is happening. Mm-hmm. Period. That's a force field to me. Comedy is drinking. Comedy is like, yo, man, like this might get a little crazy. We don't know how this is going to go. Yeah. How you guys react to how I'm acting right now might change how I'm acting. Mm-hmm. Like this is a real, so not one is not better than the other. There are certain freedoms that you are allowed with both, and there's certain restraints that come with both.
No, I would think that comedy is like a lot harder to do than we do on stage in music, because with music it's like it's music, so it's like it's subjective in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you hiding behind the music, regardless of what.
But there's
the beat is going, you dance. You know what I'm saying? With comedy, it's just like a man and a mic. It's like the closest thing to that is like politics and shit. Yeah. You know, it's like take it or leave it type of shit. You know,
being a comedian is. Music is like pimp shit. Comedy is hoe shit.
Oh shit!
You're a hoe.
Really?
You're a hoe.
Why would you say that? I don't.
Because you're there for the audience's. There's a service, mm-hmm. a very organic service. They're like, if you go to a prostitute, it's like my goal. I'm going there to have an orgasm. Mm-hmm. That is what is happening. That is what that's the whole point of the transaction. If you go to comedy, you have to laugh.
Yeah.
If you paid your money, you have to laugh. Yeah. If you don't, it's not. You're with the wrong hoe, right? So with music, it's way more pimp shit. Where it's like the music, I feel like you're in full control.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what I mean? You can kind of sit back. You're like, hey, this is what's happening. Fuck you if you don't like it. This is what we do, period. There is no, oh, you don't like what we're doing? Sorry, we'll start playing acoustic songs instead. Mm-hmm. You're like, that's not what we do. Whereas with comedy, it could be like, hey, we don't like what you're doing. You might go, all right, well, let me try to slide over into this material instead. Hopefully you'll feel this. I mean, I'm not degrading it. I do it for a living.
Yeah, but, I just really think comedy is really hard. Like when I see somebody that's like on stage killing it, it's like, man, that's like, I don't know, it's like magic or something, man. Like with music, it's like you like the song or you don't, but with comedy, it's like, man, that's really hard.
I won't deny that it's very hard. Mm-hmm. It's very hard.
Because what's funny to you might not be funny to someone else. But I guess music is the same way. What you think is dope, somebody else might not. But it's like, I don't know. You might hear a song that you don't like the first time you heard it, but you hear it 3-4 times. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's dope. I don't think that works like that with a joke.
Well, It can. I mean, if you choose to listen to comedy or watch comedy in the same way that you would with music. I had comedians that I hated when I first heard them, and then they grew on me, and then now I think they're fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. And I've some of my favorite music I hated. I got a Zappa tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, Zappa the shit.
Yeah, but I hated Zappa when I first heard it. Yeah. It disgusted me.
Yeah.
But so I have comedians like that. I thought Bill Hicks now is to me one of the funniest dudes ever lived. But when I first heard Bill Hicks, I didn't like it because he had a style that I didn't quite get. It took me some listens, And people say that about podcasts all the time. They say it to me a lot. They're like, I fucking hated you when we first started listening to your podcast. Now I actually really enjoy you.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. A common misconception about relationships is that they have to be easy to be right. But sometimes the best ones happen when both people put in work to make them great. Therapy can be a place to work through the challenges you face in all your relationships, whether with friends, work, your significant other, or anyone. Therapy for me has been great. It's just able to just sit down and be able to talk to someone and get all my feelings out. With BetterHelp, you don't even have to get dressed. You don't have to leave the house. You can just wake up, get on your computer, man, and everything could be great. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/Danny Brown today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Danny Brown. Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. New customers can bet on a big game and turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. I love DraftKings because with DraftKings, you can make money while watching the game. And it's like you're watching the game inside the game because you need your picks to hit. Download the DraftKings Sports app now and use code DannyB. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58 with code DannyB. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. One no-sweat bet per new customer. Issued as one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
So it can work like that. But what I was going to say is what you were saying about the song protects you or whatever, or comedy's hard, music's easier. The reason I would disagree with that is there's a pressure of performance with music that you don't have with comedy. Now, comedy is hard as shit, but you can flub. If you fuck up in comedy, it can be funny.
Yeah.
You fuck a punchline up, and I've fucked jokes up on stage and been like, I fucked it up, god damn it, and then like the audience thinks that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you fuck up a song, it's over.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. You have one chance to hit this note or this line in this rhythm, or play this chord, and if you fuck it up, that's it. You fucked the song up.
Oh shit! All right, we'll jump into some of these. You're right though, because there's been a lot of times where I've been on stage. Because I mean, you write, you write so many fucking songs, and it's a lot of times, especially when I was drinking a lot and shit, I get up on stage, I'll be like, I got it, and the music starts, and my brain just go blank, like, fuck, how did this song go?
Yeah.
And then I just fucking flub through and be like, oh, fuck it, I fucked it up.
Yeah, there's a fear, maybe fear is the wrong word, there's an anxiety I felt when we did the Salsa Windfall show that I haven't felt in a long time, on stage, I mean. I still get anxious. I have shows this weekend. It's my first time headlining the mothership. Like you want it to go well.
Yeah.
So I have a certain anxiety before the first show because it's like, all right, I want it to go well. That's just giving a fuck. Mm-hmm. But when we did the Salsa Windfall show, I was on stage and I was like, my brain hadn't functioned like that in a long time. Where I was thinking like 15 minutes ahead of where we were about like, don't fuck this up, don't forget this, don't, you know what I mean? Like that's something I really admire with musicians is like professional musicians, I mean, like guys like you that's like what you do is music. I admire the ability to do that, you know, and to function like that. I mean, it's you there is no mailing it in, man.
No, it's definitely not. And it's almost like the energies of it. Like people can tell if you up on stage and you just phoning it in. Like the crowd can receive. They know it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to be all in with that shit.
Yeah.
All right, we'll jump into some of these Ask Danny's. You can always hit me up at Danny@thedannybrown.show.com.
Ask Danny.
All right, first one we got is White Boy Bops. Yo, Danny, what would you consider to be your favorite white people songs? And how did you find the songs? Shouts out to Terry. I don't really know what a white people bop. I don't know what that could be. Like, you know, 'cause music, like, I guess if anything, I mean, I would say favorite white boy bop. I don't know, because I really feel like, because a lot of people might say I make white boy bops in some sense, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I really feel like music it's all on a person. It transcends race in some sense.
I talk about this a lot. The whitest music.
Yeah, I think the whitest music to me is the white rappers that try to rap like Eminem.
Yeah.
I mean, M could do it, but then it's like all these clones of M or the guys that got inspired by M, and then they just rap super fast, and they just forget the whole what Eminem started from and what he is, and it's just like this whole. I think that's, but I wouldn't consider that to be bops. You know what I'm saying?
My friend Pat called me once. This is how he started the conversation. I go, hello? He goes, dude, Mumford & Sons, whitest band ever. And I was like, yeah, I think you might. But now, you know what's funny, Danny, is did you hear that new band Jay-Z just signed? Infinity something?
No.
They're great. But it's 4 or 5 black kids. Mm-hmm. But they sound like fucking Mumford & Sons.
Oh, really?
And it's a big story in entertainment, I guess, because it's like Jay-Z signed this band, but they're like soft rock, but like, and I was listening to it yesterday. They're really good, and I was like, man, shit's coming real full circle.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when I was growing up, it was always white kids doing black sounding music. I'm like, this might be the first time ever I've really heard like a black group do like what I would call white sounding music, because it sounds like festival.
Okay. I'll check it out.
It sounds like that. There they are.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed this.
There's
Infinity Song. Okay.
They're siblings, yeah.
Yeah,
They're great.
Dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I didn't see this.
But I was like, this sounds like you listen to it on a blanket in a field.
Okay. That's dope, though. That's dope.
But what's it called? But White Boy Bob, I think the whitest music ever. My definition of the whitest music ever is new David Byrne. David Byrne is dope, though, man.
He is.
But new David Byrne.
I haven't heard no new David Byrne.
Exactly.
Though, so. So I don't know.
New David Byrne is what aging liberals listen to and think they're still hip, and they go to a theater and David Byrne's on stage doing his new.
Haven't heard no new David Byrne. I don't know. All right. Next up, we got switching teams. Hey, Danny, I'm 24 years old and a fellow Detroiter from West 7 Mile. Shouts out to the Mile. I've been in unsuccessful relationships and I'm starting to give up on black girls. My only problem is that women of other races are just really unattractive to me. I just want to try it. I feel like I might be able to find a sister who isn't a total rat or just weird. Do you think I should give other races a chance or just stick to my guns? Kobe. I don't know, man. I will say, man, dating black girls is like all Madden, man. They don't play for shit. You can't do nothing. Like they really stick to their shit, man. But I don't know, man. I mean, that's like a stereotype. You think like white girls are pushover, but shit, not the one I got. She don't play that shit.
Yeah.
So it's. I think it's just women in general. It ain't really about race because they all different, to be honest. I mean, it just depends on. But if you're not attractive to them, don't go that route. You know.
I appreciate that he said it honestly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People get afraid to say, like, well, I'm not into, people are like, you fucking racist, whatever, But, like, I appreciate that he's just like, I don't know, man. I'm only attracted to black chicks. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
You know?
I did realize, I came to, like, a realization, and I remember, like, growing up, it was almost like I was just, just seeing girls, like, on, just in media and shit like that, and all these bitches got the BBLs, and they got the big titties and pretty faces, and I remember growing up as a kid, it wasn't always like that. It was either, like, if a girl had a fat ass, she had an all right face. You know, if a girl had titties, she ain't had no ass. And but then it was just like cute girls that was you just really pretty. You ain't had no ass or no titties. But now it's just like this whole cyborgs walking around this motherfucker, man. So I feel sorry coming up for this new generation, man. Like, you know, like it got to be hard, man, dealing with social media and shit and seeing all these, or even for the women too. It's like, you know, they got to live up to all these fucking expectations of what they see on TV and shit like that.
Well, that's what's wild is like, I want to be careful how I always say this. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But like, there was a time where the unfair image of women was coming from corporate America. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like, and that was the analogy or the example they always use. There was women have to go around, they see these billboards with these false bodies and this false whatever. I feel like women are making it hard on women now. Yeah. Because there's so many women now on Instagram with their ass out and everything. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys! Like,
we don't give a fuck, man. Like, a fucking homeless bum on the corner, man. They don't give a fuck how you look, your fucking eyelashes, your makeup, all that shit. We don't give a fuck, man.
I don't like it.
So they do it for them. I mean, it's always good. You know, you want a person to feel confident about themselves, and you know. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, we don't really give a fuck, man. We'll fuck a hole in the wall if that's what it came down to. Like, so shit, man.
Did you ever find an eyelash? Do you ever have a girl leave your house and they forget their eyelashes?
Oh, just the whole shit just sitting there? Like, oh, man.
I'm not into it, man. I'm not into it. It's like, I get turned, if I'm talking to somebody and I feel like they put a lot of time into their appearance, I appreciate that they give a fuck, but it's more, I wouldn't say it's a turn off, but it's not as attractive to me as somebody, you know, I don't want somebody rolling up that hasn't showered. But,
oh yeah, definitely.
But you know what I mean.
You want a clean bitch.
But
no stanky hoes.
I don't want an overproduced chick.
Yeah.
You know, clean.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know dirty feet, bitch.
No.
Like that's the worst.
I don't want a string section. Yeah. I don't want an overproduced.
I will say I do like, you know, I want a bitch to get, you know, pedicures and shit like that. Like no crusty toe
crusty
bitch.
feet is tough.
That's a man, that's crazy.
Tough.
That's
tough.
So I'm all about the, you know, you really, I mean, that's just women in general. They know they got to keep themselves up, you know. All right, we'll jump into some music questions. What are your top 5 favorite artists?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I've bands and then I have the hip hop. Mm-hmm. Because it's too many to put it all together.
Yeah, I mean, it's any of them.
So my hip hop is EPMD.
Oh shit.
Number one is EPMD. Ice-T is my number 2. My number 3 is Ultra Magnetics and Kool Keith.
Oh shit!
Like that whole umbrella.
Yeah.
Of Kool Keith. Everything Kool Keith. My 4 is the NWA camp. Mm-hmm. You know, including Cube and you know just the whole NWA and Cube and Eazy-E and Ren Solo, all of it. You know what I mean? And then my 4th is Public Enemy. And that's a tough 5th, excuse me, is Public Enemy. And then I would argue that Run DMC slides in and out also.
Yeah, I can go with that.
But, and then music-wise, my favorite band of all time is Fu Manchu, followed by Motorhead, followed by Zappa, Bad Religion. And then my 5th is like... I don't know, man. It changes. Mm-hmm. My 5th slot kind of changes up, but those are really. It's a really eclectic list.
It's a broad spectrum. I mean,
it's a lot of music out there.
EPMD though, I always go back and listen because the crazy shit about EPMD is that you know from them being from the East Coast and shit, they were pretty much like laying the foundations of West Coast rap in some sense. Like they was picking all the like the fucking G-Funk sample. They was like Dre G-Funk shit, because even though you listen to early NWA shit, it was kind of like Bomb Squad influence, you know? They was kind of like, so that's why I was so lit when Cube left NWA and he went and worked with the Bomb Squad, so it wasn't like too far off of what NWA was doing. That's why that era Cube, America's Most Wanted and shit, that's one of my favorite Cube right there.
That's that album. I remember seeing the, excuse me, remember seeing the Yo MTV Raps. He was walking with Fab Five Freddy through New York, talking about America's Most Wanted. It was when it just came out, and he said, Fab Five Freddy said, "What made you work with the Bomb Squad?" And he said, "If I couldn't work with the best producer on the West Coast, I was going to work with the best producer on the East Coast."
Dope.
And you're right, like that era. So America's Most Wanted is one of those records. The second NWA record is one of those records.
The second one was Niggas for Life?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said it. The second one. The PE records. What I'm getting at is there were these albums that came out, and Zappa used to do this too. It's a weird kinship in even though the genres are completely different. But those albums, I call them montages because they don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
You hit play, and there's never silence.
Yeah, that's what
everything is cutting into the next. Dre always had the TV static, in between, and then it would go into the skit, and then the song would start. And I love that approach to production. I mean, it's wild.
Because that was the I mean, of course it was like the golden age, but that was before like all the sample shit. Like motherfuckers got hit with crazy lawsuits and shit like that, so you can't even sample like that no more, So that was just like the golden age of sampling.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers, and plus just with the equipment they was using back then, it was like for them to pull off a lot of that shit that they was doing, man, you couldn't even fathom that shit. Like now we got these samplers, you can just do that shit easy, but these motherfuckers, it probably was taking them days to make some of those beats.
I mean, it's wild because everything now is virtual. So, like I use Logic Pro, and you can add track after track after track after track. You can isolate. When Zappa started working with this, I think it was called the Synclavier, it was a computer that he'd started doing whole albums on this computer that could orchestrate music. And it was electronic sounding, but it sounded kind of orchestral. And I watched an interview with him where he talked about how enamored with this computer he was. He goes, finally, if I want the timpanis to have reverb on them, I can just put the reverb on them. I don't have to set up a whole room and go to another studio to get the sound I need on these timpanis or whatever. I can just do it right here with these buttons. And now you're like, you take that for granted. Yeah. But in 90, whatever it was when he was doing this, 89, it's like.
So Zapp was like the first one fucking with the computer and shit?
I don't know if he's the first, but there are videos on YouTube of him like walking a reporter through how the thing works or whatever when he started using it. And I mean, it seems like that was the state of the art thing at the time. Yeah, it was not like, there was not a better version of it that he wasn't using. Let's put it that way. So like, it's wild, man. It's wild, but it's like everything that thing does was basically, and it had different instrument sounds on it. And if you hear it now it sounds like space age. Yeah. Instrument sounds are so weird, but I'm sure it's supposed to be like guitar or whatever, but it sounds, but anyway, it's wild now, man. Remember, my bands used to record on 4 tracks. Yeah. And then you'd have to bounce 4 tracks down to 1 to open up the other 3. Yeah. And then you lost. That's the other thing too, man. There was texture in the limitations. Like having to do stuff like that reduces the sound quality overall. But in a good way to me. Like there's a dirtiness.
Yeah, it's a warmth. It's a warmth with that shit. And also I feel like limitations, it makes you more creative in some sense.
Absolutely.
Like with all this shit we got now, you can just do shit so easy. Like back then when they was like chopping up those samples and shit, they had to do that shit really like by hand and ear. Like now you can just hit lazy chop and it just chops it up for you. You can see the waves. They ain't see no waves. They had to literally just chop these samples up ear by ear. And they had to fucking listen to those fucking records. Like for you to find that little break, or for you to find, like now you can just fucking load that shit into your computer. You can look at the wave and see like, oh, that's where the break is at right there,
Yeah, it's you can hear the loss that happens when I say it about certain comedy specials. The guy will put out special number whatever, and I'll think, That's the major label special.
Yeah.
You can hear that the limitations are gone on this special. You know, and you hear that with a band, with a certain album. You're like, I stay with bands, but like you'll hear the moment where it's like, oh, this is when they could do whatever they thought of.
Yeah.
And that's not good all the time, because whatever you think, you know, it's one thing if you're Brian Wilson and you create fucking pet sounds or whatever, but then it's another thing if it's just like, well, you know, we put strings on this, but why? You know?
All right, what album can you listen to front to back?
Oh, there's a lot, man. But one of my favorite albums of all time for this question or this type of question is there's a Sinatra album that
Sinatra? God
yeah, I
damn
love
it.
Sinatra. He's probably my number. I got a lot of Sinatra, man.
Sinatra, god damn, man.
He's got a record with Carlos Jobim. Sinatra helped usher bossa nova into the United States.
Mm-hmm.
He was like one of the first artists in the United States to be like, hey guys, there's this really cool music happening in Brazil, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked, this guy Jobim, who's kind of the godfather of bossa nova, they did an album together. And it's just the smoothest. It's a beautiful, beautiful record.
Sinatra, that's like, man. I actually did see a crazy Sinatra documentary about how he was like connected with the mob and all that kind of shit. They was like getting him out of his contracts and all kind of crazy shit. So that's the most I know of Sinatra, man. And he was like, it was crazy like back in the day. They was fucking kidnapping motherfuckers and all type of shit, man. It was like, god damn. Like, cause, I mean, I guess it's kind of shit. Kind of same shit going on now. The motherfucking record labels and shit, they figured out they can fucking put life insurance on motherfuckers and shit. And they was like, oh shit, this nigga starting to fall off. Let's kill this nigga.
I feel like you could remake Straight Outta Compton with the same script and make it Sinatra, and the story wouldn't be that different.
Oh, yeah. Sinatra was on some gangster shit, man. I was like, god damn.
Yeah.
But, all right, so what was your first concert?
Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw Frank in the flesh?
I saw him in the flesh, man. Radio City Music Hall, his last run.
How old was he?
I was 15. He was 80, I guess.
Crazy, man.
I saw him the last, like a few days after I saw him, he collapsed, and that was the end of the Radio City Music Hall run, and he never made it up.
Oh, shit.
And he died a couple of years later. But I saw Count Basie Orchestra first, opened up, and then Don Rickles came out and shit on the whole audience and Sinatra, made fun of Frank fucking Sinatra.
Shouts out Don Rickles, man.
And then Sinatra came out, man. It was wild, dude.
Just to be still doing that shit at 80 is fucking crazy. Like I always watch documentaries and shit, and I was like, man, it started to make me question religion, because I'm like, this nigga Don King still living? This motherfucker 90-something years old. Like out of all the niggas' money he stole, this nigga ain't dead. Like if anybody should be gone, it should be Don King. Like what the fuck? How is Don King still living? Man, I had to Google that shit. Like Don King still alive? Like goddamn, Mike Tyson. He got Mike Tyson out here going crazy. Like what the fuck is going on?
What was your first concert?
My first concert was Fresh Fest.
What's Fresh Fest?
It was Run DMC,
wow,
LL Cool J.
Wow.
I can't remember who else was on it, but yeah. That was when I was probably like maybe preschool, kindergarten, something. My dad took me. That's when I first realized I wanted to be a rapper.
Wow.
Like I saw that shit and was like, oh shit. My dad said I didn't even watch the concert. I just turned to him because, you know, it was that Pine Knob, which is like a field. I mean, it ain't like a sit down, like a grass type of situation. And we were just sitting down on the grass and shit watching it. And I just turned to him and just started mimicking everything they was doing on stage and just rapping like this fucking little ass kid. Ever since that day, I was like, I'm going to be a rapper.
That's great, man.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I am proud of myself for actually becoming that. It took a long time, but I will say I always got joked on about it. Because imagine you like in the first grade, everybody like, what you want to be when you grow up? All the kids in the class, like, I'm going to be a basketball player. I'm going to be a football. I stand up and be like, I'm going to be a rapper. They used to fucking joke and laugh. I mean, it got to the point I'd be like, man, I used to be embarrassed about it. So I actually used to say I wanted to be a comedian when I grow up. That's what I used to say. Instead of saying a rapper, because I didn't want people to laugh at me.
I remember from an early age saying, that was in my 8th grade yearbook. They said, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I said, my quote was, on stage with Public Enemy.
Oh shit.
I thought I was going to really go hard and be a rapper.
Public Enemy with a white boy would have been crazy.
Yeah. Progressive. But I just saw, man. I went to Rock the Bells on my birthday, and
They still do Rock the Bells?
they did it in Queens for Hip Hop 50.
Oh yeah, they did the Hip Hop 50. Yeah, you're right.
But I saw Run DMC and LL. Rakim. It was great. It was crazy. But I met DMC. I was doing the Bonfire radio show. I was co-hosting for Bobby was out, and I was in with Jay Okerson. And DMC came in. He was the guest.
Yeah, dope.
So we talked to DMC for like an hour, and I got to tell him, I'm like, dude, like Raising Hell to me is the greatest hip-hop record ever made. And I was like, it took me my whole life to see you, dude. I got that record when I was probably 7 years old, 8 years old. I'm like, I'm 46. It took me basically 40 years to see you. And to see you on my birthday. And I was like, dude, I remember when your voice got fucked up and you didn't think you were going to be able to rap ever again. Like, it was just, it blew my mind, dude, seeing those guys. Like,
Run DMC, man, I think it was everybody, like, first, like, mind-blowing experience of hearing them. And I really loved when they, you know, because I feel like they did, I mean, of course it was Rick Rubin pulling all the rock influence into the shit. You know, he was able to fucking, like I said, transcend race in that sense, where, you know, white people was fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a lot of white people first, probably hip hop.
Yeah, I mean Rick and Russell too. Like going to those. They talk about like how they like were coming in from like there was such a heavy punk rock New York influence on their approach to hip hop, and what they were doing and how they were shopping it. And I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. And you know, same with LL. Like seeing LL up there, you're like. LL's like, what is he? He's got to be 55 years old.
He don't look like he fucking aged a bit,
right?
Man.
He's got to be, right? And he's still, like, he goes hard. Queen Latifah was there. She ripped. Salt-N-Pepa.
I feel like Queen Latifah is super underrated because a lot of people just know her from, like, her acting shit. So they don't really remember Queen Latifah when she first came around. It was like motherfuckers was terrified of her. Like, I'm saying, like, far as, like, male MCs and shit, like, Queen Latifah get on the song and body your ass. You know what I'm saying? So she
killed, man. She brought out Moni Love. They did Ladies First.
That's right.
It was dope. But I get emotional at concerts, like because it takes me back, and like I got teary watching Salt-N-Pepa because it like you know what I mean. I was excited to see him, but I didn't know I cared that much, and I was like. It just took me back. MC Lyte came out. I was like, MC Lyte killed. And I was like, and Salt-N-Pepa, they killed.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet Salt-N-Pepa. It was great.
Yeah.
We played a festival together and because, you know, Salt-N-Pepa was like the first female, you know, group that first female album I think I bought in my life, you know? And that was the whole fucking, they had Herbie Love Bug and all that shit. They was like the first of that shit. Because I was a huge Kid and Play fan growing up. So it was like all the same circle type shit, you know?
So I was a huge Kid and Play fan. Kid and Play, oh man, I could talk to you all day about this shit. Kid and Play was my safety cassette.
Yeah.
So what I did was when I go buy records back in the I don't know about now, they probably don't give a fuck, but back in the day, if you could buy a record that had a sticker on it, explicit lyrics. Even if you weren't of age, the record stores didn't give a fuck. They you know, so I could go in and get what I wanted. I didn't need my mom to buy me the thing because I didn't need approval with the clerk. But my mom would inspect anything I bought. And she'd be like, you better not buy any explicit lyrics, whatever. So Kid and Play was my fail-safe. I put it in my pocket, and I had my mom take me to the mall, and I'd go in and I'd buy Ice Cube or whatever. And
did you keep pulling the Kid and Play tape out?
Yeah, she didn't remember. She didn't remember. So she'd come out, and she'd be like, what did you get? And I'd hand her Kid and Play 2 Hype. They're smiling.
Yeah.
Like,
that was my first rap album I ever bought with Kid and Play 2 Hype.
Yeah. So it was that tape Kid and Play got me a lot of.
Hell no, that's hilarious, man. She just keeps seeing them motherfuckers on there like, doing the kick dance move.
Yeah.
Fucking Kid and Play, man.
I just saw them I went to DJ Cassidy passed the mic Hip Hop 50 at Radio City. And it was 50 groups came out, did their hit. It was it was rapid fire.
How long was that?
About 3 hours.
God damn.
It was wild. It was rapid fire. But Kid and Play came out, and they did Rolling with Kid and Play.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And they did the fucking kick step, whatever it was called. And then they brought out Full Force.
Oh, shit. They all did house party and shit together.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Kid and Play was crazy, man. People don't know how big Kid and Play was. Them motherfuckers had their own Saturday morning cartoon.
I know.
I used to watch that shit. Like, Kid and Play was my shit, man.
Their DJ Wiz, I haven't seen him in years, but Wiz used to hang out at Caroline's Comedy Club all the time.
Yeah, because Kid does comedy now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but Wiz was friends with Greg Charles, who was the publicist at Caroline's.
Okay.
So Wiz would always come in to hang out with Greg. I was friends with Greg. I became friends with Wiz. But Wiz brought in Teddy Ted one night, and what's his name? Teddy Ted. Who's the other dude? He would just bring old school dudes, and it would blow my fucking mind, because they were just his friends.
Yeah.
Like he's just coming to the show, but you were like, to me, I was like, these are dudes I've been listening to for. Yeah, it was just wild. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we got some wheel. Let's spin the wheel before we get up out of here. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through, man.
Oh,
It's great
thanks for
talking
having
to
me.
you.
Yeah.
I could, like you say, I could talk about fucking hip hop shit all day, man.
Yeah, man.
It's like,
Well, come if you're in New York. Come on, Taste Buds.
I would definitely
Or
love to.
podcast. Yeah,
Definitely
come on,
love
man.
to.
Yeah, please.
Indie rock.
Okay.
How do we get here? Indie rock. I don't know. I guess. I mean, indie rock. Is that like Vampire Weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
So I guess indie rock that's on an independent label.
Is there any such thing as a fucking independent label?
That's what I'm
anymore?
saying now. Like, I don't think indie rock is like a thing now.
Yeah, independent label means you put it out yourself now, and you put a label on it. You
Yeah.
know, like is there like when I was growing up, there was, I guess they're still around, but there was like Merge Records and Discord. Discord's still around. Discord's truly independent.
Discord's a total different thing to this generation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, man. But what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, can't think of an independent band now. It's like independent is almost like, because a lot of these independents move like major labels now.
That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
Spoon's, I love Spoon, the band Spoon. They're from Austin. I love Spoon. And Spoon's last record, or second to last, I don't know. They were on, they went to a major and then they went back to a minor. And I was like, oh, I like that they're back on the indie. And somebody's like, no, that label's owned by Universal or whatever.
Yeah, that's how it be.
Yeah, so like, that's how it is with the films and shit too. Like Miramax used to be an indie company.
Oh, shit.
And it was like, but all that shit now, like it's like, it'll be like 20th Century Fox Spotlight or whatever. And you're like, that's that's their label to put out independent movies, which means it only cost $10 million.
I think now indie rock, like, I think that's more of a sound
Yes.
than actually
I think so.
a genre thing, which makes me so jealous about rock music and rap music, because like, they got alternative rock, which it's like alternative to what pop music would be or
Right.
what would be popular culture. But in rap is like, you just in this one box, because it's alternative rap, it's fucking indie rap. We have those same fucking divisions in our genre too, but we don't get recognized like that, which is one thing I think that really sucks, which I wish would change,
It bothers me with comedy too. I always use the music analogy with comedy. What you just said about exactly what you just said about rap, I say it with comedy all the time. I'm like, comedians have to understand we're not all Katy Perry. Every comedian thinks that they're Katy Perry. That there's one goal, and there's one venue, and that there's one prize and one amount of money, and it's like, dude, you're not Katy Perry. You're Rakim, or you're Tom Waits or whatever. Like you're different. Stop trying to get the Grammy. You're not getting the Grammy.
Yeah.
You're not a Grammy comic.
Yeah.
You're raw. You're too raw for that shit. So appreciate who you are.
Yeah.
But like I wish there were subgenres in comedy. But with rap, what you're saying is like, I agree, and it's funny because you'll hear people go, "Rap sucks now," and I'm like, "Well, some of it sucks."
Yeah.
The shit. If you're only listening to what Apple Music is feeding you, then you might not be happy. But there's plenty of shit that sounds like how the rap you miss. It's out there. It's still being made. You gotta go find it.
I always talk shit about hip hop and shit. I'm just like an old boomer too. Sometime when it comes to it, and I had to realize that because I started watching like old episodes of Rap City. And then I was like, hold up. Rap always had some sucky shit involved. It was
Yeah.
always trash, you know? And I
Yeah.
think hip hop is it's in one of the best places it's ever been because now it's whatever, like you said, whatever you like, you can go find it. It just takes for you to go dig and to find to it. But it's all different styles of rap music right now. Where before you was only getting what you can see being pushed to you.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't know what the fuck, you know, if it wasn't in the Source magazine, if you ain't see it on TV, then you didn't know it existed. But now, you know, it's any style of rap music. So I kind of think we in a way better spot than what we was when I was coming up.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I think with artistic creation of any kind in any genre in any field, excuse me, we're in a great place where you can make something and put it out there, and you can find an audience for it. You know, if it resonates, and even if that audience is 100 people versus 1 million, it doesn't matter. It's like there's a way to get what you make out there now, and because of that ability, we're getting a greater volume of stuff that really fits what you're into. You know, you see it with the streamers, the movie streamer, you know, like Netflix and all that. I'm like, you know, I Shudder I love because it's all horror. And I'm like, Shudder has movies on it where 20 years ago, this would have been the movie that was direct to video. I would have went into a video store, and this would have been buried next to a bunch of way more mainstream famous shit. And I wouldn't have seen it because I'm being guided to Nightmare on Elm Street 5 or whatever the fuck it is. And now there's these ways, these platforms like Shudder, where it's like you're taking the grassroots thing and you're handing it right to me. You know, and saying, by the way, if you want this grassroots thing, this is exactly where you find it. And it gets so much more of a spotlight shown on it.
Hell yeah.
So, like, you know, with music, you know, I'm agreeing with you in a very long-winded way.
No, that's all good.
You know,
It's all good.
you're like, I wanted a one-sentence answer. But
Yeah. But yeah, we about to get up out of here, man. Thank you so much for coming through, man. It was great chatting to you about fucking music, man. And
yeah, man, it was great talking to you.
You're amazing, man. I definitely gonna pull up on you in New York. Definitely
Please,
gonna pull
man.
up, man. I would love
Yeah, let's stay in touch, man.
Definitely,
Like,
got you.
I love that. Yeah,
hell yeah.
Awesome.
All right, love y'all motherfuckers. We out of here, man. Peace. See y'all at the same time. You got anything you want to plug, man?
Oh yeah, shit. Well, yeah, like I said, Salsa Windfall might be coming down to Austin in the spring, so hope to see if that happens. But I'm on tour with my comedy tour, so I'm out there right now. The tour is called "I Never Promised You a Rose Garden," and this weekend I'm in Austin. But I'm February, I guess by the time this comes out, February dates right off the bat: Nashville, and then on to North and South Carolina, and then later February, L.A., San Diego, San Fran. Come see me, joederosa.com for tickets. Please, come see me.
That's right. All right. Love y'all motherfuckers. Peace.